so. Baby, na tomato doce, she too simple, she too humble. I know I'm over the sorrow. Adama, you be my crazy, she dey pass wahala, she let me go the voice in the holla. Suffer, they shake your feet to Bakassi. I don't want to put me for trouble. She too fine, yeah, she too fine, yeah. I'm a long man, so baby, I'm tomato doce. She too simple, she too humble. I know I'm over the sorrow. I don't want you be my crazy.
After all, isn't there something else we should probably be doing now instead of just reading this? Is this really the best way to spend your time? Isn't there something more productive to be doing? Shouldn't you check your email and make a quick call or review your task list? We say we waste time, but that's impossible. We waste ourselves. To be honest, it took every ounce of resistance in me not to check my email in the middle of writing this sentence. Why do we feel the constant pull toward things like email and task lists? Sure, it feels good when we can check something off our list or send a response to an email that's been staring us down for a few hours. But what we often neglect in our pursuit of productivity nirvana is some of the tasks that we gravitate to are interfering with much important work, capacity building work. We unwittingly become slaves to the task. Driving this insecurity is the belief that time is a currency of productivity. At the end of the day, we spend it in the right place, we win. If we've spent it in the wrong place, we lose. Whenever we fail to do what's needed, we accumulate debt that will have to be repaid at some point. After all, our work isn't going away and someone has to do it. At the same time, we often obsess unnecessarily about our own time because we grow paranoid that we're constantly losing ground or that we're somehow going to fall behind and never be able to dig ourselves out of our work debt. For many creatives, this mindset results from the fact that they are constantly reacting to the workload rather than giving themselves space to get ahead of it. I think a lot of us feel this way, whether or not we realize it. This insecurity about time is one of the main things that causes us, even unknowingly, to cram work into every available crevice of our life. We are perpetually thinking, moving pieces around in our head, and problem solving. We feel pressure to produce and we know that we need to use our time wisely to do so. But as mentioned earlier in this book, this always-on mindset unknowingly causes us to forfeit our best work. Of the 5 elements of rhythm discussed in the book, time is the most significant pressure point for many creatives. It's where we feel our biggest crunch because it's the most concrete resource that we need to allocate toward our work each day. It is also the one element that provides the foundation for our practices in each other area. As a result, developing a healthy mindset toward time is critical, and not just in terms of how you crank through tasks or how efficiently you conduct meetings. While these things have a place, you need to be just as mindful of what's not present in your life and how this is affecting your creative capacity as well. Though it's counterintuitive, the solution to feeling overwhelmed or crunched for time is often not to remove something from your life, but to add something that raises your level of effectiveness to those activities you're already doing. All minutes are not created equal. There is much advice on how to organize your time, to conquer your tasks, but it's mostly predicated on the assumption that your regard to the quality of work. But this is simply not the case. As a creative, you are held to account for the quality of your work, not just for the quantity. Each project you take on makes demands on your time. You're forced to make priority calls about where you're going to spend your hours, and because of the pressure of scarcity, you probably frequently feel like you have one chance to get it right. What we often overlook is that 1 hour effectively spent can produce better results than 5 hours spent on frenetic activity. Breakthroughs can happen in a brief moment, but these kinds of breakthroughs result in a lifestyle of structuring your time according to an effectiveness mindset rather than efficiency one. Lost time is never found again. You know what else?
Is this book about a workplace, or is this book about being inventive? Or it's about being inventive on your workplace? Because that's the thing that is kind of like. When I listen to it, it's like all this is like obvious to me, and then I'm gonna get tired immediately. Not at the beginning, but now.
Well, it's 3 hours. He's saying 1 hour effectively spent is better than 3 hours or 5 hours ineffectively spent.
I know I told that when we're doing our bachelor degree, our baccalaureate in high school, our high school degree, that's why I used to tell Sean that you can stay in your house all day, every day until the baccalaureate and show your parents that you're studying, but you actually are not studying. You're making yourself feel like you're studying, because every time I come into your place, you're sleeping when you're moving. Every time I come there, you're sleeping. Why don't you spend that time? Because what we're doing is the difference that we're doing. We all pass, but we pass with better grade than certain people did. The reason was we found a way to be efficient, which was we met. One of us was good in one thing, one was good in another thing, right? So we help each other in these things, and we all became really good. But when we're doing that, Jean never wanted to come with us. He's gonna work by, so we always assume that when we're gonna be there, he's just gonna be joking. I know. Right. Is it ready?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I think you can easily discount something because what he's saying may be obvious, but that doesn't mean you're actually implementing it in your life.
Well, the things that I don't need to implement it because it doesn't. How to explain that? Not everything says can be implemented in everybody's life one after the other. You know what I mean? So one thing might be effective with this kind of thing and not effective with something else. But if you cannot even tell the difference, then you're gonna be wasting your time in stuff like this way. For example, you're thinking this is the way it is. So you're basically gonna be always wasting time applying something word by word to your life when it doesn't even affect your life. You know what I mean? What is this guy doing? No, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's never enough. This is the driving. You don't know how to drive, you get out. This is not politics. This is the road.
That's one thing, because I don't see that you apply a lot of
doesn't require structure. Therefore, it becomes like. So, for example, me, I probably don't have a structure, but you have so much structure, for example, for more. And a lot of things that we do will have to be done this way. Otherwise, you're not comfortable with it, or you can't do it, or whatever. Whatever that.
As an example.
Yeah.
What's your example?
Well, the example is structures. Yes, you need structure, but you don't need structure in everything. Just like you don't need disorder in everything. You need to be able to tell the balance. Meaning, if your life needs structure, it doesn't mean your whole life has to be just about structure. Once in a while, you can relax. Once in a while, you can
it all needs to be structured, but I'm asking you for an example of
what? Me being structured.
yeah.
Structure is good, but I feel like not everything work in everybody's life. That is very important to understand. Otherwise, you're gonna want me to apply. Everybody know that going to school is good, right? But is school good for everybody? No, school is not good for everybody. There's a lot of people that are very smart but will be the worst in school. You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about school.
See, that's like not being able to, because everything has to be structured. So if I'm talking about school, you cannot see that because it's not.
I agree with you. Like, not everyone learns everything through school. It's not the appropriate place to learn everything.
That's not what I said at all.
But that's not what I'm suggesting. I mean, I think that's why I really do feel like you, similar to Isabel, like she lacks self-discipline too. Like she can't decide what she wants to do in life because she can't have, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do this, oh, I can't make a decision, I'm not gonna move forward with this, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Instead of putting the structures in place to study, to pass a test, to do this, or whatever, she just gives up. And
It's easy to say that she gives up, but she doesn't have the structure. Because we
she
do
would
that a
agree
lot.
with me.
We need to put ourselves in our shoes.
She would agree with me.